Hello and welcome. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I am pleased to have this very special edition of Why Are We Here? So that I could bring in a couple of people who aren't always busy at the time of my regular stream of 2 p.m. or I'm sorry, 7 p.m. on Tuesday evenings. Neil and Ethan both stream at that time, and so yeah, that time just doesn't work out for them. So we had this special edition. Yeah, we compete with one another every Tuesday night. And I know there's a lot of people that run all three streams simultaneously.
I feel bad. Like, I've wanted to find a way where we could maneuver some schedules around, but that would probably be pretty difficult and throw off our audience as is. But I actively try to avoid scheduling, my shows during other YouTubers, like particularly like the ACA. I do everything I can to avoid them. Like this Friday, though, past Friday, unfortunately, I was not able to. But I really don't like to take audiences away from anybody because honestly, I think it's better when we all go up together.
I completely agree with you. And for a while, I was trying to find something. Critical Cripple tried to make a spreadsheet for people to sign up for stream time so that we wouldn't go over one another. But we were talking right before we went on the air about people who have tech issues. I couldn't figure out how to use the spreadsheet. I could look at the spreadsheet, but I couldn't figure out how to put anything on the spreadsheet.
I think you have to enable editing.
Yes.
Then you can put all kinds of stuff in there if you want. Neil's strip show Wednesday. No, I'm just kidding. No, nobody wants to see that. Trust
me. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining, and thank you to everyone in the chat for this very special edition of Why Are We Here? And we are going to go around and we're going to talk a little bit about what we do on our channels and why we do it. And that always ends up taking us into a lot of different directions for just good conversation. So let's go ahead and start with Ethan. Ethan, what do you do and why?
Well, you got to start with me.
because you're the cutest.
Oh, thank you. I would say the best way to describe what I do is literally everything. I do interviews, debates, call-in shows, roundtables. Please.
Do you mow lawns? Well, you said literally everything.
My own. And I even did 2 deconversion stories. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going to compete with Neil. Neil's really good at this. So we'll stay out of that field. And even like with the roundtables, once I had heard about us from the roundtable, like I changed because I was calling it the Atheist Roundtable. I'm like, I got to change the name because I'm not here to like screw with other people. The Atheist Roundtable is a great friggin' show. I pretty much love covering controversial topics. I also like doing things very differently. I try to make things more fun and engaging because, as we know, some atheist content can be so boring. Like 20, 30 minutes of the same philosophical arguments where you just want to pull your eyes out. Mm-hmm. I don't want people watching my show leaving with a headache. Like, I want them like, yeah, that was cool. That was good conversation. They should feel good because that's one of the feedback I get a lot from people is that there are certain shows that are just mentally taxing to them. So I try very hard to avoid that and leave those more interesting conversations to people that are better than it. And I stick with my stuff. I do a dating and relationship and sex show. Hopefully to try to normalize sex with my co-host Hannah Vaughn. I do mental health with Jenna Belk on the Ethan and Jenna show. Every Tuesday, I have The Perspective. It's a call-in show where we tackle paranormal claims, supernatural, conspiracy theories. Dude, we get paranormal investigators calling in. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And one of these investigators actually invited me next month to go with him to these places that are regularly haunted. So I'm gathering a couple people and hopefully we'll do some live footage because that is the next step for Ethan Michael is what's it called? Like in-person activism. Like kind of like you ever see Steven Crowder, that really, really far right wing that changed my mind? I want to do that shit, but with atheist liberal content. You know, I want to be at these protests. I want to go out like Jordan Klepper does and interview these people face to face and talk to them about their beliefs. So I'm just getting started.
Very good. And you're young enough to do it too.
I'm not as young as I look, but thank you.
I have always, I've always just been the opposite. I've always looked a lot younger than I am. And I did a stream this past week with Matt Dillahunty, and everyone assumed that Matt was the oldest person on the panel. I said, no, I'm older than Matt.
I'm older than Matt for crying out loud.
Wait, you're older than Matt, Neil?
Yep, by like 2 years, I think.
So you're like, what, 65, 66?
Fuck you. So Matt, I think is 51 now, and I'm 54. So
okay.
And I'm 59. I turned 60. Let's see, this is March in 2 months.
Ooh, big 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Birthday.
Kenneth says you're 64, Ethan. So take that. Thanks for having my back, Kenneth.
Ethan, I would guess that you are probably a big Spider-Man fan.
Okay, so believe it or not, although I do enjoy Spider-Man, he's not my favorite. I'm more of a Captain America fan. I just felt
you're such a Boy Scout.
I felt that the name suited me because here is like for example, Tom Holland's incarnation of Peter Parker is very like hoping for the best, just really doesn't want to accept that people are going to do bad just to do bad, kind of in his own world, but still wants to be out there fighting. So I felt that like kind of encapsulated who I was best. But I totally prefer Captain America.
On your left.
On your left. Yes.
I'm Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Does it have to be Marvel, or can I pick DC?
Ooh,
you can pick DC.
Lobo.
Oh, yes! Yes! You totally are Lobo!
I went for him as Halloween once. Nobody knew who the fuck I was. But that was like in the 80s, and he was still kind of, I won't say new, because he came out in Omega Men issue number 3, I believe, was his first appearance. And he doesn't look anything at all like he does nowadays that he did then. Because now he's like the biker guy, right? With the leather and the huge muscles and similar facial hair to me. And so, yeah. So Lobo was always my favorite.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's one of the few to beat the shit out of Superman. So, yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, Oz, tell us about what you do and why.
Yes. First of all, thanks for the invite. My name's Neil, the 604 Atheist.
Oh, shit. I better change my name then.
No, but Douglas Grady, thanks for having us to hang out with you today. And I'm Oz from the Atheist Roundtable. And we, like Ethan was talking about with his channel, we do a lot. And we also have a call-in show, usually on Monday nights. We're not doing it tomorrow. Today, Sunday? Yeah, we're not doing it tomorrow. We're actually doing kind of a countdown or a build up to the tournament, which I'll talk about here in a second. But we do call-ins, we host debates, we have more of like one-on-one interview conversation episodes with theists. And I'm sure I'm missing things right now. And then we do specific shows like on mental health, which are my favorites to do. That's probably my biggest passion. And then the other thing we've started doing is in our attempt to be as loud and obnoxious as we can in a good way of normalizing atheism is having more kind of shout out type streams where like we just hosted one with which Ethan and Randolph helped with. We called it Turn Up, and we had a bunch of people that just started channels come on, and we did nothing but talk about them, their channels, and kind of same thing. Why are they doing it? What, kind of what's the vision behind it? And then we had our first one with Dave Warnock 2 weeks ago now. We call Whiskey, Scotch, and Cigars. And we're just going to kind of do a rotation and do that. And we have do essentially a drinking game during the show. And there's certain words that are picked, and throughout the conversation, if those words are said, everybody has to have a drink. Now, obviously, if we have somebody that doesn't drink, you can drink water or whatever. But it's just to kind of break up the monotony of some of our shows and switch it up and continue to build the community. Because I think we need to have some of those episodes or streams where we're meeting new people, we're making friendships and making that bond, closer, stronger. That way we can continue to normalize atheism. And then I will plug real quick the tournament, which Godless Granny will be in this coming Saturday. And it's a 16-person tournament. The winner is getting the belt you see that side. The belt you see right behind me, custom made with the UDC on it. So it's mine until somebody wins the tournament. That, and we have great sponsors. We've raised $666 cash for the winner.
Nice.
So you're getting a belt and a nice pool of money there.
Some chunk of change.
Yeah. Yep. So that'll card note or whatever. So we'll have that Saturday. And then why do we do what we do at TART? I kind of already mentioned the first part of it is normalizing atheism. It should be normal and it should be acceptable for any of us to walk in a room and we don't believe in a deity. We don't believe that should be normal. It should be, yeah. We shouldn't have to go into whether it's a legal building, a courtroom or something, or a school, and have to worry about, okay, if I actually talk about this, are there going to be ramifications? Whether it's right here and now or behind the scenes or whatever, we shouldn't have to worry about that. So that's first and foremost. Second is for me, I won't speak for the whole channel. Another part of it for me is coming out of religion for as long as I did. That community and the community that we have here and that I get to experience that I'm grateful for is so important. And I needed that through the deconstruction and the deconversion, because that was probably my second greatest fear going through that was now what? Because I don't have a relationship with anybody from my former self, and it's sad, but it is what it is. And now I have friends and I have people that I know I can call and trust. And I think that's badass. And I want that for every single person possible through, what we do. So lastly, we want people to have fun. Like Ethan said, life's too short. We get to do, as far as we know, we get to do this shit one time. Right. So like my wife and I say all the time, as long as you're not hurting anybody, do what the fuck you want to do and enjoy life. Period.
One thing I'd like to say about Oz is one of those people that I jive with really well because he gets the entertainment aspect. So I like him from watching wrestling, learned a great deal about wrestling psychology and entertainment psychology and ways to get the crowd. That's why I've always been a really good stage performer. I know how to rile a crowd up and bring them down. And Oz totally gets that. And if you look at his channel, you will very much see WWE style promotions, which is something, if I was able to do that, I would be doing the same thing. Unfortunately, I don't have that ability, but they nail it. Like, he's really good at trying to be entertaining. And that's, to me, what we as atheists need to do. If we want to help normalize atheism, we need to make these conversations more fun and more engaging. We want to have mass appeal and get the people who normally don't care about it talking about it and listening to that. And for me to do that, we have to appeal to their short attention span and try and lure them in any way we can and make things more fun.
Yeah, and if I may just put a complete exclamation point at the end of that, if we're going to be as efficient and productive as we can be to normalize atheism, the one thing that we have to remember is, there are ones that we talk to all the time that love the philosophical conversations. They love the science. And we need to do all that, right? And I've learned a ton just in the year that I've been chopping it up with all the awesome people that I've met. But there's a lot of people that are coming out of religion or becoming skeptical, they don't know, they don't even know what a premise is. Like they don't, when we start talking about it's, so if we're going to normalize it, we have to have normal conversations. So we can have those, but let's get away from with the newer folks that are deconverting, deconstructing, that we have the more, let's use words we use in normal conversation every day, instead of doing the word salad that we like to play with and throw it around. But I think part of normalizing the atheism is making it a normal conversation.
And speaking of newer people, yeah, this is one we just got and thank you, Esther, for the super sticker. But Esther is one of the newest people in the community and one of the newest people on YouTube that's creating content, and she is absolutely amazing because she has a unique perspective as having grown up in Nigeria and being, I love listening to her talk about how she can't understand how so many Black people aren't atheists, and I totally agree with her. But from me, it sounds racist. From her, it sounds logical.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do. And then shout out Pasta Mike. I just saw jumped in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The Pasta Man.
The pasta man.
And as I have experienced exactly what you're talking about. One of the things that I do is I'm a KAJA. I'm a court-appointed juvenile advocate. It's a volunteer position, and I frequently will testify at juvenile hearings. And recently I went to a hearing, and this judge, not all of them do this, but this judge was using an oath that ends with "So help me God." And this was a really precarious situation where this child's entire life is going to be decided by the outcome of this hearing. And the last thing I want to do is tick off the judge by saying, I don't want to swear, so help me God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so obviously I had the right to ask for it, but, I was really on a quandary. Do I dare? Is this going to tick him off if I do? I actually didn't end up getting called in that particular hearing. The attorney ticked off the judge, and he had to hurry his case along, and he ended up cutting out about half of his witnesses.
Yeah, and that particular analogy, whether it's like the courtroom, and I know you're used to that environment. And Pasta Mike, you used that. That was the first time that I personally had heard that particular analogy. But I think of it even in the business world for the entrepreneurs out there, that when you're doing business, especially with somebody that's say it's in the Bible Belt, and you're trying to build business relationships. Well, do you really want to have that conversation? Do you want to do it? Because is it going to make them think, oh, well, you're an atheist, you don't believe in a God. Can I trust you? Like, do you have morals? Do you have ethics? All of that. So
one thing
Have a credit card.
to jump back a little bit to talk about like the normalization of atheism for anyone watching, like how Oz had talked about the how he did that event with bringing a bunch of these new atheist YouTubers on. Anything I was about to say we can do, sorry, I can't speak for other people. Anything I can do to help, please let me know. Like, if the easiest way to start a YouTube channel is grab your cell phone, pick a topic you like, set it down, record it, upload it to Facebook, get some feedback, or go straight to YouTube. Like, keep in mind, Exmo Lex's entire channel has been made recording on her cell phone. So you don't have to have top quality camera and audio. Get a decent phone, get your voice out there. Or, hey, you like guitar, play guitar, and then put it on a channel that has the word atheist in it. Everything we do helps normalize atheism. So if you're safe and able to, start a channel, get your voice out there.
I realized that I put up Kitty's comment, and I forgot to put up the what she was responding to, so it was kind of out of context. Yeah, but Ethan had said to Kitty that well, I'll let you read your own comment, Ethan.
Oh, hey, Kitty, half your deconversion story, and I enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, and Kitty's response was, I had a lot of fun with Neil. Which brings us to Neil. So Neil,
that's me.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to type this in. I'm going to respond to Pasta Mike there first off.
Okay, no problem.
Sure, Bassa, just hit me up and we'll set up a date if you are serious. Anyway, I'm Neil, the 604 Atheist, like it says right there. And I do basically, for the most part, deconversion stories on my channel. I feel that they're important for a lot of folks out there that, I've spoken to many on my show who surfed YouTube to find information about people who had left religion and stuff like that. So obviously that type of thing was needed. I know that there are, I think, at least a couple other channels that do it. And even Seth Anders had done it in the past as well. So there was still it was a small niche. So we needed more people out there to do these stories because I think they're important for folks that are questioning their beliefs and they might want to hear how others either stayed or found their way out of whatever belief system they're part of. So that's what I do on my show is I talk to people about how they found their way out. And of course, we always tack on other things, like if they have a channel, we talk about their channel, how they got it started, why they got it started, that kind of thing as well. So, and yeah, and I recently had Kitty on, and that was a lot of fun.
And you always do an after party.
Yeah, so that's where the community part comes in, right? Where we get other folks that have either been on the show or just like a lot of my local friends like Dave and Gorilla and Randolph always come on and hang out in the after party. Just to show that, yep, we don't always have to be talking about religion and stuff like that. We can talk about all kinds of crazy shit and just have a lot of fun, a few drinks. And like Oz was saying earlier, he's got a drinking game on his show. We have one on mine too. My cell phone has the Mario coin sound effect for every time I get a notification, which these days seems to be every fucking 5 minutes or less. So every time you hear that coin sound, the word coins, #coins will pop up. And that's when you take a sip, sort of thing. So drinking game there too. I'm a lot funnier when I'm drunk, so there you go.
That seems to be true for a lot of people.
Or at least I think I am. Not too sure. And I've got your partner in crime coming up pretty soon, Ethan. Hannah Vaughn. It was scheduled for April 10th.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, I got her on for April
Yeah,
10th.
she didn't tell me. I'm going to give her a swift kick in the ass.
And Atheist Chico, who I had scheduled before, couldn't do it. Something came up and he couldn't do it. So we rescheduled him for Saturday, April 3rd. So he'll be on the show then. Yeah.
He has a great story.
Next show is Godless Sewing. Who'll be on the...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're drinking now. Well, I've been drinking for a while. I don't know about you there, Jim. But
I just have water.
But he'll be on Tuesday, March 16th, 5 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. All my shows are 5 p.m. Pacific. So just made it easier that way. And the after parties are a lot of fun. I'm also the community advocate for Canadian Atheists, which is run by Randolph Richardson, who's the president and founder. And he kind of just threw me in there and said, okay, you're going to be the community advocate. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then he gave me a box of business cards for that. So apparently I'm official.
That's what they say. If you got business cards, you're in, man.
I'm official now. Yeah.
That reminds me of a story, something that happened decades ago. A salesman came to my door and was wanting to sell books. And he said, "You're interested in education, aren't you?" And I said, "Nope, I'm not interested in education." And so he thought, he knew I was pulling his leg, but he thought that I was afraid that he was trying to rob me or something, being a door-to-door salesman. He says, "I'm a businessman. This is official business. I have a business card and everything."
Oh, then by all means, come in. That's hilarious.
That's true.
I thought it was too.
And Jur made a great point. Whenever Atangelo shows up into this chat in the after parties trying to start a debate, we kick him out.
He tries to start a debate everywhere.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's always like, "Hey, send me a link. I'll join." I'm like, "No, you won't."
No, you won't.
This isn't about debating. The after parties are about having fun, not debating about stupid shit that you are wrong about.
Whenever Otangelo shows up in my chats, if he's on point, I'll address what he's saying. But 90% of the time, what he's talking about has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about in the stream. So I just ignore him.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets the idea after a while and generally just pisses off most of the time by himself.
Yeah. Oh, you guys will like this. We don't have to spend a bunch of time talking about it. It was two days ago, I think. Pasta and I did an episode together, and when we were done, one of the younger channels, just getting started, was live, and they've had some of the like lower ring of the pre-suppers, call on or coming on. Well, I happened to jump on Gold Night, I guess, there, because we got Catholic Traditionalist and Darth, and I got both of them to rage quit within like 20 minutes. It was hilarious.
Fucking Darth. Captain Scripto.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I'm just going to mention as well. I'm still looking for folks to fill up a few days in March. So, if any of you out there have a deconversion story you want to share, you can hit me up on Twitter or Facebook and let me know, and we'll set you up, because I got March 23rd, 25th, and 30th still available. And
have you done a brain bug deconversion story?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's been on.
I've sent a couple people your way, but you've already had them on.
Yeah, I've got over, I think I'm pretty close to 300 shows.
Wow.
So,
wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And hopefully you don't run out of atheists anytime soon.
I won't. There's lots of them, but they just have to find me.
Have you ever thought about doing like the conversion stories? Like, because that's something I've considered doing, like finding people who were very like, not just the I used to be an atheist people, but people who were legitimately very atheist and committed to not believing in God, and finding out what specifically convinced them and moved them over.
Mm.
I have thought about it. I kind of want to stay focused on the deconversion stories for now, but the future, you never know what the future holds, right? So, I just saw Almost a Doctor who said you'd be happy to help me there. Be great. Almost Doctor. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but it's at 604 Atheist or Neil Bernstein on Facebook. Just send me a message and I will show you my schedule.
Aunt Jer is asking what channel this show is on, and I think everyone, well, I've got the links to all of our channels in the description. So I think Aunt Jer is asking not about your show. I'm not sure which show she's asking about.
Well, Aunt Jer's often in my chat, so it's probably not my
show. Yeah.
I think
she's great.
Aunt Jer said that like slightly after Oz said like he made someone rage quit.
Oh, Darth.
Yeah, that was on. I'll try to find it. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Do you have a wrench? Do you need a wrench to do that?
Wait, have you done the Martin Robert deconversion story yet?
Martin from Nonprofits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
I've had almost all the nonprofits on.
Okay, cool.
The question at this point is, who has he not interviewed?
Right. Well, that would be Almost a Doctor. And Ricardo Olivier, as mentioned a few months ago, he was asked about going on a show, but the host asked if he had been on my show yet. He wasn't going to have him on until he was on my show first.
That makes sense. Because, a lot of people are resistant to try to steal, what you're doing.
I encourage it. You're not stealing anything from me, because people can tell their story twice if they so choose. But the more of these that are out there, the better, in my opinion.
Not only that, first of all, there's, even though there is overlap in audience for all of us, it's not a 100% overlap. And so even if someone tells their story, on two different channels, they're likely to reach some different people. But also, every time I tell my story, I think of something new, and also conversations that I have with other people maybe make me realize that, hey, that had an effect on my deconversion, even though it was really a precursor.
Mm-hmm. To answer Jenny Morgan's question in the chat, I have had so far one folk or one fellow that was on the show. That's a great picture of you too, by the way, Jenny. That's like fashion magazine picture right there.
Yeah, that's
You see
actually
that?
really cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so for personal racism, yes, I've had someone on that used to be a member of a white supremacist group and also left religion. So we tied the two together.
Grumpy old dude.
Exactly.
I was thinking it too. Wasn't sure.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And another fellow on whose name is not coming to me. This was some time ago. Also had some dealings in a little bit. He was never really a supremacist, but he was considered himself to be quite racist at one time, but he gave all that up too. So, which is good. I think, yeah, I mean, I've always had this expression that I use all the time. In my opinion, there's one race, the human race, and just like every other species, we come in a variety.
Absolutely. I think I tried to put the link in the chat. I don't know if it went in. I think it's there.
Let's see.
And by the way, we should celebrate those varieties, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes, absolutely. And while we're throwing out invitations and everything, I'll pile on. So if you want to,
Quick, mute us.
if you no, two things that so we've changed the format, on our debates. So I've already talked enough about that, in the tournament. But if you want to do a singular debate, you can email me austin@tart.live. We'll help you find a person to debate with if you don't know anyone. But we're always looking for people that want to have good, fun debates on there. And if you go to our channel and look at the thumbnails that say Atheist Pizza, I think one even says Atheist Pizza with Pasta Mike. That's one where Mike goes and does like live interviews, kind of what Ethan was talking about, but a little different element. But it's that face-to-face, in person, more interview style. And if you're within a decent drive, he will come to you, buy the pizza. He'll do all that. But it's great. I got to do one with him down in Macon, Georgia, with two Calvinists, and it was a blast. So if that's something you want to do and you want to have an interview with the Pasta Man, you can email him the pastamike at gmail or myself, austin@tart.live.
I saw that one. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was I really enjoyed it. That was fun.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the debate, Oz?
Yeah, you got people in the chat kind of wondering what's going to happen there.
Okay. When Almost a Doctor, if you're talking about just the standalone debates, really, we'll do that. I try to stay away from politics because I just never, they're never interesting, in a debate format like that. But we'll debate just about anything if it comes down to it. But the tournament again, it starts on Saturday, and it's a 1 day. The idea of it kind of comes from, if people are UFC fans, you know what I'm talking about. UFC, before it turned into this big machine that it is today, would do 1 day event, 1 day tournaments where these guys had to fight, to be the winner of the champion all in 1 day. So it kind of fits that, or like an NCAA men's or women's basketball tournament. And we'll have 2 streams going at once for the first 2 rounds. That way we're not turning this into a week-long ordeal. And then, we'll go through the tournament each time. The 2 participants will pick their topic. And at the end, and there's a sheet that all of the judges and mods have, to where it's not just a guessing game on, I think this person won because I like them, but there's a kind of a scoring scorecard there. And at the end, we have in the championship, Dr. Josh is going to be the mod or the referee. Pasta got us hooked up with David Smalley. David Smalley is going to be the guest judge there in the championship, and the winner gets the belt and 666 bones. So dollars, U.S. dollars. So if you live somewhere else, hopefully you can convert that.
I know that one of the things that you're having a little bit of concern over with the debate is, the fact that you're trying to pit atheists against theists. And one of the things I was talking to one of your representatives about was that, it really doesn't matter. You can take secular topics as well and have atheist versus atheist. But another thing, it's always good to steelman your opponent's argument.
Mhm.
And so if I'm assigned a theist position to defend, I'm perfectly happy to do that. When I debated competitively in high school and college, I did switch sides debating, and we would go into a final round and they would flip a coin and tell us whether we were on the affirmative or the negative for that particular round on that debate. So we always had to prepare both sides.
Yeah.
Interesting. It actually, that helps you too when you're debating.
Mm-hmm.
If you can argue the side you're against, then that could actually put you in a much better position because you now then understand more about the side you're against.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a reason I won't even although I don't really like debates anymore. I enjoy moderating debates. I don't like partaking in them. It's just, not only am I not good at it, but there are so many times where I cannot steelman the other person's side. And if I can't steelman that properly, then maybe I don't understand it well enough to be going back and forth on it. So that's why I try to stick to asking questions. Hey, Godless Granny, would you mind putting Secular Rarity's comment on screen?
Let's see if I can find it.
It's up a bit.
It's right above Jim
I
Benton.
found it.
There we go. Well, Oz, can we confirm this? When are we going to battle?
Bro, really?
So for those that don't know, Oz is an aspiring rap artist. And, I've already had some luck. Humble brag, I did get to rap on stage with Vanilla Ice, and I have the footage to prove it. A lot of fun.
I wouldn't go around bragging that.
I was happy. It was a great moment for me, man, because that was like the first song I learned to rap. So for me, it was like, dude, I got to be on stage with Vanilla Ice, man. So so for those that don't know, Oz and I have been going back and forth for a while, talking smack about a possible freestyle battle rap. But if I'm being truthful, I think he's a little bit nervous. I think he's scared that my stage presence might, overtake him a bit, and he'll choke. What do you think?
Is that a real question?
What is UDC?
So to the Vanilla Ice thing, just because you get on stage with a whack white rapper doesn't make you a rapper. Just like if you get on an airplane, it doesn't make you a pilot, Ethan. So strike 1, 2, and 3. And I've already told Ethan, so whenever he wants to smoke, he can get to smoke. And see that the longer he dodges and runs from it, the worse it's getting. Because I actually just repurchased all my studio gear. So like if I'm not working on TART stuff or with my family, I've been in here creating music again. So it's just going to get worse the longer you go because I'm getting more and more practice. But to the chat, UDC is Ultimate Debate Championship. Yes, I 100% ripped off UFC.
I thought it was the Universal Debate Championship, thinking like WWE style.
Nope, Ultimate.
Okay.
Yep, I ripped him off.
Whoops.
Hi, Ox.
I was actually trying to get this comment, although Ox's comment is good too.
Let's see. Tobin. Come on, Tobin.
I that would be fun to do a collaboration because honestly, I need an intro. And I would like to have like my own custom made intro for my channel. So maybe Oz and I could, bust a flow together.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm down. Yeah, I just finished up the new intro for the TART shows and then the one for the Ozone. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Now, okay, and I like WWE. I like talking smack. So I just kind of like riling people up. Oz knows that. I've admitted to him that I would not at this point be able to outflow him. If this was maybe 10 years ago before the seizures, I would probably be able to keep up. I don't know if I could beat him, but I would be able to keep up. But when it comes to stage performing, he can't touch me there. That's not many people can.
And that's what every whack MC I've ever met says.
Dude, so open your nose and gonna wrap those 12-inch pythons around your neck and squeeze.
Well, that conversation took a turn.
Almost
boy.
Doctor said, would Ethan want
Hi,
a
Sleek.
Rubens tube for the music video? What's that?
What
Anyone?
music video?
Want
What's
a
going on?
Rubens too? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, almost the Doctor. If you could say what a Rubens tube is, I have never heard of that before.
Is that like a Rubik's Cube's brother?
Oh, I went a totally different place for that.
Yeah, here's the comment he's talking about.
Yeah, if you could clarify. It's a tube that shows sound wave with fire.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh, fire. You had me at fire.
And Kathy's here.
Hi, Kathy. Who probably doesn't know who I am.
She does now.
I actually do not listen to music. So when the topic of music comes up, I just kind of go silent. I know that that's kind of a strange thing, but I keep waiting for him to post it. Atheist Pastor did wanted to do a stream with Americans reacting to Aussie music. And when he played the third piece, I said to him, now you understand why I don't listen to music. And he said, yeah, it makes sense now. Because I was literally in tears. And I said, I get so emotional over music that listening to a song can leave me depressed for days. So I just, not knowing what's going to come on, I just don't listen to music.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the other way around. If I feel like I'm mentally, if I'm getting a funk, I know, either what music or what artist, I go straight there, and just to, help get my mind in the right spot. So it is funny what does and does not help different individuals in those moments. So.
I'm okay with classical. Classical never sets me off.
Classical music?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Beethoven type stuff? Or
Yeah, I can listen, especially if I just need to be peaceful. Yeah, I can go.
Edvard Grieg, Peer Gynt Suite. That's my go-to for that.
Okay, Almost a Doctor wants to put in a link. Yes, Almost a Doctor, you can. I've got to give you a wrench first, and I'm in the process of doing that.
I need one too, so I can put my channel in there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of folks.
There you go. Okay, you both have wrenches now.
We were talking about music and hip hop. Real quick, I do have to throw this out there. I think it was last week's call-in show before calls started coming in, or maybe it doesn't matter during that show. Pastor Mike had pulled up a hip hop song that was popular in like right around 2000, 2001, if I remember right, something like that. And he read it as if like we were just having a normal conversation. And it was hilarious because it's like if you take those hip hop the lyrics and you just read it without the music like that, like a normal, it's like, oh wow, like you said that. Oh, you said that to her. Oh yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that to her. It's like this is so absurd.
I'm with Sleek the Geek. Reuben Tube sounds like a sandwich.
Extra 1,000 now on dressing, please.
Kitty the Atheist said music got them through some, pretty, I'll just say rough times. I don't know if you want to put that on the screen. First of all, Kitty, I am terribly sorry that you had to go through that. Music and I know this is going to sound cheesy, but the show The Arrow got me through like my worst time in my life when I was just so depressed, so medicated. I was having seizures every friggin' day. Music was the one thing I could occasionally escape the hell that I was living in. And then also that's like, I've always felt a connection to Arrow's storyline, that I've spent 5 years in hell, because that's to me what it felt like. Granted, it wasn't on an isolated island getting like beaten up or anything like that, but I almost want to show you guys a picture. I was about 50 pounds heavier. I looked 20 years older. It was a horrible time in my life. Like there were times I'd be stuck in bed all day because the seizures just wouldn't stop. Like if I didn't get better, I would definitely not be here doing this YouTube right now, because I got so bad that I hated life. I hated people. I couldn't function. I couldn't, like, I could barely speak. I couldn't eat because I was always sick to my stomach, and I was just miserable. And I would be constantly like waking up from the seizures, like all of a sudden from absent seizures, waking up like, how did I get here? Or what happened? Or I'd end up be driving, and next thing I know, I'm waking up at a friggin' stoplight. And I'm just like, it was such a dark time, and it sucked. But there were a few things I had to hold on to that kept me going. And, one of those other things was actually my cat too. Like, I love my baby. Sorry to bring down the mood.
Oh, well, you brought up the cat, and that was, I was going to tag on to that and maybe change it a little bit. Many of you know that I have a trans son, and his name is Robin, and he had a pet parakeet, and the parakeet died about 4 months ago, and I've never felt like I was attached to much of anything, especially, not animals. I just don't really care one way or the other about them. But I was really surprised that when the parakeet died, I really missed him. And I get up every morning and I go look at the corner where his cage used to be. And, I miss the parakeet. I miss Simon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never. I mean, I'm a dog guy, so it's not that I hate animals. I love my dogs, but I never had that attachment that I hear a lot of people talk about with their, with their pets. And even we had a situation with a pit bull when I was still married to my ex-wife. That was our neighbors made up this story. They came, they're like, either we're gonna take the dog and put it down, or they're gonna try to sue you. And I'm like, are you serious right now? So they ended up putting the dog down. I was actually more upset and bothered by my kids' reactions and what it meant to them than than it was that we had to do that. I mean, I was pissed. It's still my dog, but it wasn't like that emotional connection. So I can relate to that because that's a tough one for me when people talk about that connection, because I can't. There's no connection there for me, so it's not a conversation that I can jump into.
Kathy asked a really good question that I had up on the screen a minute ago. I'm going to put it back. Are you finding a lot of over 50 people deconstructing? And I have seen a few myself, but Neil, that's a better question for you. Are you finding more older people?
I don't say if it. Possibly. I think probably a majority of mine have been under the age of 50, but there are quite a few that were 50 or close to or above. Especially people like Dave Warner.
Aw, right? He's so cute.
And of course, Matt Dillahunty and Seth Andrews, and they're all about 15. Well, now, anyways. Aaron Raw is another one. So, but they found their way out long before they were 50, right? But these people are of that age by the time they get onto my show. So, yeah, I do have quite a few, but I'd say most of them are probably in the range, some earlier ones, but in the 30s for the most part, 30s and some 40s seems to be the majority.
Okay.
And a few younger as well, but the younger they are, they find their way out, the happier I am for them, because they get out of there a lot earlier and they don't have to have that shit on their shoulders for a long time.
And that's Aunt Kathy. What's up, Aunt Kathy?
Aunt Kathy. Yeah. Well, also, I've also had cradle atheists, like people that were never religious but had a lot of influential people in their life trying to get them to be religious. So we talk about that sort of thing as well. That's why I'm trying to get that fucking creaky blinder guy on. He's hilarious, man. If you haven't seen Creaky, check out his channel. He's great.
I have seen Creaky.
Oh, he's awesome.
Thank you for the super sticker. Almost a doctor.
I've spoken to him for a few times. He's actually come to me for advice because he goes, I don't know if I want to do atheist content. And I'm like, you are one, so why not do one? Some. So he has been dipping in a little bit here and there, but he still likes to tackle the flurfers. Because I'm sorry, if you believe the earth is flat in today's day and age, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. This is like, duh.
So real quick, there's two things I want to say now. So Kitty, I'm sorry, and there's not much, but there is some footage and pictures of me during that time, and I just don't remember them. I have, few memories of like little high moments occasionally, but it's very, very scattered. There were things that I knew or I had knowledge on that I know I learned that I were just wiped. After coming out of this, I had to learn everything again. I essentially had to learn how to regulate my emotions again, because when I had switched and got off all the seizure medicines, they were mood stabilizers and they kept me zombified. So, I was going like this all over the place. And I was it was almost like a child. I was trying to grasp how to handle my emotions and feelings again. It was very trippy. But off of what Neil said, so I don't want to go as far as to say people who believe the earth are flat are stupid. Some people just have very, very poor epistemology, and they just don't understand how to explain how they know what they know. They think
But that's just it, Ethan. They don't know.
No, you're right. They don't. And the problem is a lot of times these people are so arrogant in their ignorance, which can be incredibly frustrating. But I was no flat earther, but I try to remember what it was like when I was that far right Republican, when I was spewing things like, I'm not saying this now, I'm telling you what I used to say, but when I would spew things like all lives matter or have views that were opposed to the trans community, I had some very far-reaching views. But the truth is, I didn't friggin' know any better. I didn't know how to properly evaluate evidence. No one had ever taught me that. It was just, I was constantly hearing all this bullshit from Fox News over and over, and I believed it. And once I was given the tools to properly evaluate my beliefs, it changed my world. I became an atheist. I became a liberal. Although probably socialist at this point, but it's it was so.
You could be liberal and socialist.
Yeah, nobody had ever taught me how to critically think about things or challenge. I just was repeating bullshit. I was handed a Rush Limbaugh letter at 12 years old.
Yeah,
yeah, that's my little rant.
Well, let's not forget. I mean, you've got people like Jeranism, who went out there and did some tests to find out if the earth had curvature, and he proved himself wrong, yet he still continues to go out there. His reply to the results of one of his tests, the laser test, was when it was 3 feet above the hole it was supposed to go through if the earth was flat. He was like, and that was it. And he just carries on. That's the kind of idiot that I'm talking about, because they're out there like that.
Yeah. And what's his name?
He makes a lot of money doing what he does. His name is Jeranism. Look him up.
Yep. And somebody said it in the chat, and I think I heard Seth Andrews talk about this, and I can't remember if it was a Pew Research result I saw or something. I was just Googling trying to find it, and I don't want to waste a bunch of time right now. I'll try to find it later. But from what I've heard, it's late 30s, early 40s is usually the that age range where people start to the kind of light bulb comes on. They're like, oh, hold on, what have I been doing for this long?
There's no real age range, really. It just happens whenever it happens.
Right. But there is because I'm pretty sure it was on Pew where they did it, and it's year over year. You can see the trend of, it's up 3% year over year for this age group. To see if there's to see if there's an increase in deconversions or people that did believe that don't believe now, that kind of thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, they were doing that on an episode of Answers in Genesis News that I did a response to, and they were bemoaning the fact that so few of the what's the young generation right now? Gen Z?
Is
You know,
it? I thought it was something else now.
I don't know. I have a hard time.
Last I heard, it was Gen Z, but that could have changed yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes,
That so few of the Gen Z are believers. And yeah, one of the things that I brought up is that it's so much more difficult to fool a Gen Z with certain things, like religion and like I brought up the example of the story that women have one more rib than men because women were made from Adam's rib, and I believed that for gosh, a couple of decades. And when my son Robin was told that in high school, Robin pulls out his phone, looks it up on the internet, and no, they're lying.
of course they're lying.
It's amazing.
Right. But for me to find out that same information, it would have been going to the library and getting a book on anatomy. And that's a whole lot more trouble, not enough trouble to go to for, something like, so I just believed it.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen Xer myself, so.
Yeah, and I saw down there, and Neil said it, and I did agree. So I feel like I'll say my part, and then Neil can speak for himself. But as far as the Sleek the Geek, the person that led you to this community, being a flat earther, and whatever the name, I can't remember what name was used, but the application there, which I agreed with, is somebody can be a great person and still be, when it comes to a particular topic, can be ignorant. They can be uneducated. They can be whatever. It doesn't make them a bad person, just makes them ignorant to that area.
I'm sorry, but that was funny.
Yes, it was funny. That's why I put it up there.
That sure is hilarious.
No, but I was going to say something about that, also about the Pew Research, and I don't remember what it was, because, Ethan, I know you and I relate on this. I have a thought, and I don't get it out or put it on paper within about 3 seconds.
It's gone.
Me too.
Gone. Yep. And I ain't getting it back.
I also do my best thinking when I first wake up in the morning, which sometimes is between 4 and 5 a.m. And sometimes it's a little too early to get up. And so I'll think of something. Okay, I'll write it down when I get up, and I go back to sleep. And when I wake up, nope, it's gone.
Yep.
Got to get up and go write it down.
Yeah, I either put it in my phone, take a picture of it, or put it on paper, or else.
Use the voice app. If you got ideas, talk to your phone. It'll put the idea down.
Yeah,
Yep.
So Oz, like what I do is because I'm always, my brain's just go, 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 go. I have notes always available on my phone, and I have probably like 200 more video ideas. I just make sure that's always handy, and I rush and I post it in there. So for people like you and me, I highly recommend it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Because usually I go in there and I'm typing like.
I am a millennial as well. An older millennial, like right on the cusp of whatever's before millennial.
I don't really care what they call me. It doesn't really matter.
So you're kind of like Twitchy from Hoodwinked. Is that what you're saying, Ethan?
Twitchy?
Twitchy, the squirrel that they gave coffee to.
That sounds right, but I have no idea who that is.
You haven't seen Hoodwinked?
No.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. The best part of that movie is the granny.
I'll have to check it out.
She's like a spy operative. She's fucking awesome.
And I am a boomer like Jenny. So
I missed Boomer by 2 years. That's why
you can still be a boomer if you want to, though, Neil.
I get called one all the the okay boomer. It's like, oh, that's funny now.
That's 2020.
I got my nephew to say that to my mom, his grandma. It was quite comical. He was like, okay, boomer. This little 5-year-old. It was so cute.
Godless Granny, you got a question in there for you.
Let's see. Yeah, I definitely questioned the Old Testament stuff long before I started questioning the New Testament stuff. And part of that is because it is so much easier to do. The Old Testament stuff, there's so much more that's supposed to be historical than what's in the New Testament. The New Testament, the only thing that's supposed to be historical in there is the life of Jesus and the travels of the missionary journeys of Paul. Um, and so trying to find something factually wrong with that is much more difficult than looking at all the factual problems with, say, the flood. I started with the flood, and when I realized that, yeah, there was no global flood. Um, it did take me a while to get there. But once I got there, that destroyed the whole Bible for me. But the one that really blew my mind was watching Holy Kool-Aid's videos on
Mm.
the Exodus and realizing that not only did the Exodus not happen, it could not have happened, at least not the way it's written about in the Bible. The numbers of people that they have being involved in the Exodus would put the number of Hebrew slaves in the entire country of Egypt, that all 80% of the entire population of the country would have to all be Hebrew slaves in one city.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's where I started too. Not to go through my whole story. I started in Genesis and I barely got out of the second chapter and I was like, oh God, what am I doing? What am I really doing? So yeah.
Mm.
It only gets worse as you keep going, folks. It only gets worse.
Although actually, come to think of it, one of the biggest things that caused me to deconstruct was thinking about the Apostle Paul. And, the Christians are always saying that uh, the reason that God doesn't, just personally appear to everyone is because he wants everyone to choose him freely. I said, but what about the Apostle Paul? Jesus, God obviously wanted him to be working for him, and God wanted him to be a follower, so God did whatever it took to get him to be a follower. And I'm thinking, if God can do that for the Apostle Paul, why not anybody else? Right. That was one of the biggest moments for me was why can't God do this for everybody? And
Yeah.
the only conclusions you can come to is either A, he doesn't want to, or D, B, the whole story is a fake.
Yeah. It's I love that you brought Paul up because I've now being an atheist, I still think about that. Like if this God it would happen to be true, why was Paul cooler than me? Because Paul was out like killing Christians. He wasn't just like having conversations and talking about epistemology and justified belief. Like he was like hurting these people and killing these people. Why did he get to see you? Why did y'all get to hang out and we don't? Makes no sense.
One thing that I have done is, after watching all of Paula Gia's information about, that there's no information, that there's no proof of the resurrection, there's very little evidence for an empty tomb. There's that the apostles weren't witnesses to, that died for their beliefs and all of that. I sometimes will bring that up to Christians, but I don't always have the research that he's done to back it up. And so then when they ask me, yeah, well, prove that. And I start searching for it. And I can't always find it. So
It's
sorry, just real quick. The resurrection story could not have happened. Once cell death occurs in the body, there's no reanimating the body. I don't give a fuck who you are.
but it was a miracle. It was a miracle, Neil.
A miracle, just as described in the dictionary, an event that is impossible to happen that somehow happened.
Oh no, you're taking it out of context.
No, fuck you. I'll take it out of a book, just like you.
No, we actually just had a debate last night, and it was on the resurrection. And the whole time, and I try to be fair on every single debate, but that one to me, it's like, especially when the name of your argument is minimal facts, and we have to take all of these minimal facts to try to lump them together to try to prove something. That's when we're in trouble. We're already in trouble. We're on a bad foot. And then when you already believe it to be true, even though you can't really connect dots to create good evidence for
Reality?
it. Yeah, then we're falling through the floorboard, at that point. But yeah, like they said in the chat, if you're looking for great resources on that, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some of them, Holy Kool-Aid, Apologia, and then
All great people too.
yeah, Godless Engineer. There's two more I'm missing, but the life of Jesus, the crucifixion, the resurrection. Those are great resources.
Speaking of resources, I so appreciate when people do a video and they put their sources in the description. I was doing a debate once on transgender women in sports, and I went and looked at some videos, and Rationality Rules had one out, and he had so many sources for that video that he put his sources in a Dropbox and put the link to the Dropbox in the video. And I wish I could meet him in person and go kiss him for that, because I opened that Dropbox and I had everything I needed to prepare for that
Oh,
debate.
that's awesome.
Yes, Kitty, you are correct. GE's app is called Crestus, and I have it here actually.
Yes.
Yep, me too. Great resource.
It's CHRESTUS.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, yeah.
Yay. Yeah, Apology is awesome. He's a good guy too. Anyone that worked on the Star Wars movies is A-okay in my books.
And while we're throwing other people out there, if you want to demolish the biblical slavery argument, not the person, the argument, you can. Oh, don't come off. Brought to you by Dr. Josh.
Oh, yes.
Go get that.
Is that out now? I didn't realize that was out now.
This is the old one. This is the old one. So he's working on one
new one
right now. It's called The Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament.
Cool. That sounds really cool.
What'd you say, Neil?
I said almost the doctor said not the prequels. No, he didn't work on the prequels. As far as I know. Apologia.
Yeah.
Oh,
real quick, if I could, while we're on the topic, on Saturday, the 27th, so once a month, I am doing Atheist Entertainment Night. So 1 month is going to be, we're going to watch a movie and review it. Another one is going to be like trivia, and I haven't figured out what the third one is yet. But anyways, Saturday the 27th, I have got
Strip
five.
show.
I'm sorry?
I said strip show.
I mean, okay. There actually are photos of me in a gold Speedos and a gold dancing on a stripper pole.
Can everybody say
goodness.
demonetized?
So, I forgot where I was going now. So we're doing Star Wars trivia. So I've got 6 other atheist YouTubers that will be joining, and they'll be competing against each other. So we're going to rotate other things in, like we'll end up doing office trivia, friends trivia. So if you are an atheist YouTuber and this is something that interests you, please send me a message on Twitter, because I am trying to get more of these events booked. We'll be doing them, like I said, once a month on Saturdays. But, sorry. Can I talk about one more thing real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm just super excited. So next month, V La Bianca and I are launching a new show. You might be familiar with the format. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the show Hot Ones. Well, on our first episode, we'll have Kenneth Leonard and Shannon Q. They will be eating hot wings that get progressively hotter while debating one serious topic, one moderate topic, and one silly topic. The first person to give up loses. That is going to be on April 12th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And V La Bianca's hosting, and our guests are Shannon Q and Kenneth Leonard.
Awesome. That would be good. I'll watch that one. I love spicy food. I love debates. So
I do too. My favorite spicy sauce is Buffalo Wild Wings mango habanero sauce.
Mm.
Would you be able to make me a mod so I could put the link for it in?
Sure. Put something up in there so that I can see you.
You want to have me and Aaron on too, don't you? For that?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Aaron to confirm. I'm hoping. Like, I didn't want to promote that just because it's not confirmed yet, but hopefully the following month we'll have Aaron and Neil on competing against each other.
Oh,
Sorry, again, Aaron has not confirmed, so that is not final by any means.
Give him time.
So everybody heard it. Next month, we have
with the caveat of maybe.
You heard it here first.
Okay, there. Now you can put the link up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Never,
I always have like just a bazillion ideas, and the only thing that actually holds me back from doing more YouTube videos is the fact that I'm like, I'm trying to build a team right now, and I've had a lot of people who are helping me out, like chat moderators, call screeners. There are so many great people in this community, but eventually I'd like to get to a point where I could do this full time. So then it's just going to be nonstop atheist content. Like Oz, I'm going to have to get with you because I still want to put together a 24-hour atheist news, skeptic news network where it's just nonstop atheist stuff and news that is actually skeptical. Not a bunch of people throwing out endless bullshit ideas, just the friggin' facts as it should be.
You had me at 24 hours.
Yeah, dude, we got to do this, man. I recently found out that to get it started with Roku, I actually found this out because of the empathetic atheist, Wes. It's $1,000. So if we raise $1,000 and we get, say, 24, like if we get a bunch of YouTubers each willing to do an hour of content, like we could start pumping it out, or we can even take content that's already up and just start streaming like all of the Atheist Roundtable stuff, all of YFNA stuff, all of Godless Granny. Like we could just do endless amounts of shit. Oh, that just gave me a good idea, dude. We could have like every Monday at 6 a.m. Neil, the 604 Atheist Deconversion Story. Like, dude, we could do so much with a 24-hour atheist network.
For sure. My friend Dave, Simply Secular, has a show that he does about that where he tells you who's coming up during the week of all the known channels, and he lets you know what's coming up. Yeah. It's,
cool.
I even gave him the name for that show, and I can't remember what the hell it is now.
That's hilarious. I made the name on it. Don't ask me what it is.
I suggested it to him, and for the life of me, I can't. Just Simply Secular Dave is the channel, and he's got. He hasn't done anything recently because he's been bombarded with work, so he hasn't been able to do anything. But he will get back to doing it.
Well, and he's been secretly working on something with Murder Shed Steve.
He has?
Yes.
No longer a secret.
Yes. Damn it. Damn it.
See, I just tell everyone I duped you into saying that, Oz.
God. You're like those snake oil salespeople, too.
Maybe. Let me twirl my mustache a bit.
Yeah, mine's not quite long enough for that.
That's a mustache?
I just listen.
I thought a caterpillar. Oh, sorry.
Ethan, do you have a mustache?
No.
Okay.
No peach fuzz.
I couldn't see well. The reason I asked is because I was looking at Oz and Neil, and I said, "Am I the only one here without a mustache?"
I look like an idiot with no facial hair. So.
Actually, kitties, yeah, I'd be involved. I'd love to get involved with that too. Like take a section here and there. Be fun, I think.
Yeah, but Pasta Mike and I, we don't sleep anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah, actually, it'd be good to talk about this with you and Pasta because I feel like you guys would be like the right people to partner with on this.
I feel like we already do it 24 hours.
I'll be honest. Like, okay, I pride myself in doing like the most and putting out the most content. And there's times like Atheist Roundtable, I'm like, dude, why can't I keep up with them? I'm like, there shouldn't be anyone that can do more. And I like, dude, it's so hard. Like, you guys do so friggin' much. How is one supposed to keep up with that? It's awesome. But
Adderall. Adderall.
Adderall.
Adderall.
It also makes a difference what you're doing. Putting together a live stream is pretty easy. You just, you get the guests to come in and come up with the topic, and that's not that difficult. But the produced videos, I usually spend a full day writing the script. I spend about an hour shooting it, and then I usually spend 20 to 30 hours editing it, because the thing that takes the most time is looking for all the visuals that I put into it. And I average about 50 visuals per video, and, looking for all of those and finding them and putting them all together. So yeah, every produced video that I put up is usually about 30 to 40 hours of work.
Yeah, especially by the way, I meant to say this up top. Godless Granny, that premiere you did, I think it was yesterday, was fucking awesome. And I want to tell you
Thank
that.
you.
And I've already sent it to a couple people, and then there's a couple people I told them to, because where I was at, I couldn't send the link, but I told them to go watch that. That was amazing. If you guys haven't watched that from yesterday, go watch that.
As I was watching it in the premiere, I was wondering if I read too much of the law. If people were going to get bored just hearing me rattle off this law. It's not that long. But I thought, gee, I hope people stick with it, because the fun stuff comes at the end. But what Oz is referring to is, in Alabama, we have a state senator, Shay Shelnut, who proposed a bill, and it has passed the Alabama Senate, that would take away all health care for transgender children. And this is
What?
it would make it a felony for anyone to do any surgery, provide any prescriptions to, provide any mental health counseling to anyone under the age of 19, for any kind of care that would affirm them in their gender, if their gender, as the law puts it, is different from their sex. And in addition, it also requires all schools to out all transgender children to their
What?
parents. Yes, I'm not kidding. This has passed the Alabama Senate. And it's not the law yet, but it very likely will become Alabama law in the near future. Now, the rule that says that the schools have to out the students, I think that one's going to be struck as void for vagueness, because it is so vague as to what it is, making it a felony to do, that it's almost impossible to comply with the law. I gave a couple of examples in the video. I said, what if a 5-year-old girl says, I have a penis? Do you have to go report that to her parents? Maybe she only said it because she thought the word penis sounded funny, and she doesn't even know what a penis is. Yeah, it is absolutely astounding. And it's been in the news a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I didn't even know about it until I saw somebody post it on Twitter, and I said, thank you for this. This is my own state. I didn't even know about it. So yeah, I put that together, and I'm hoping to get together with the people who are protesting that. And I also want to put together a live stream on that, but I need somebody to help. And that is, I need a medical professional that can talk about how many transgender children are going to lose their health care over this.
Yeah, and I read Jenny Morgan's comment there. It's I understand the question. Why is anyone astonished? And I think for me personally, I'm astonished that either side could take this bold or disgusting of a leap, because as I'm just processing it in my head, all of the possible negative scenarios that come out of this, and how many people, first the family, of those children, first and foremost them, but then any, because there could be violence from bullying and all the things that get by outing these kids, or what if they go home and yeah, it's a religious family, but behind the four doors, it's an abusive religious family, and the things that happen. There are so many negative possibilities that whether you're left, right, middle, can you not just plainly see that? Like, and then to deny them or anyone mental health treatment is completely unacceptable. And I don't care what your world or religious view is. That's bullshit. I mean, there's so many layers to this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a great video.
Thank you.
Granny. Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yep. And then Ethan and I are going to be. Well, we got two shows coming up together here soon. We have your call-in show, and then next Sunday with you and my other good friend Jenna Belk.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this Sunday. So Jenna Belk and I have a show every Sunday on mental health, and this Sunday we are going to do the mental health roundtable. So Oz, Laura McGee, and wow, I'm totally blanking on. Oh, and IQ will be joining us, and then.
Ooh.
I believe is it the 23rd that you're going to be on? The 23rd, Oz will be joining, will be co-hosting with me on the Perspective. I think I mentioned it earlier. It's a call-in show where we tackle like paranormal, supernatural, belief in aliens, like alien abduction stories. We get everything. So it's pretty fun.
We are getting close to the 90-minute mark here, believe it or not.
Oh wow,
that was quick.
That was.
It does. It always goes so fast. But I want to give everyone one last opportunity to show for anything that they have coming up. And I realize that all of you have already talked about stuff that you have coming up. But there's a lot of people that are in the chat now that were not there at the beginning of the show. And also if there's something you just haven't brought up yet that you'd like to bring up. And so we'll go ahead and start with you, Oz.
Ooh, yeah, Oz from the Atheist Roundtable. If you don't know us, go there, hit the like, the subscribe, and if you want to, I guess the easiest way is go to TART.live. That's our website, and everything's going to be on there. But as far as upcoming things, I've already talked a lot about the tournament, but I'll just say it again. We have a 16 person tournament coming up this Saturday, the 20th, and it's going to be atheist versus theist, atheist versus atheist, theist versus theist. It's kind of an open format, and then the winner gets the really sexy championship belt here behind me, and then $666 cash. So get that, and then I won't say what Ethan just said, but I'll be joining a couple shows with Ethan and some others. Then we have the debates. If you want to be in a debate, not the tournament, but standalone debate, you can email me, austin@tart.live. Then you can also email me there, or the pasta mike@gmail.com if you want to be a part of Atheist Pizza and do a live interview where we order atheist pizza. And if you're a theist, yes, you still have to eat the atheist pizza. But we do a live interview, and we do talk about beliefs, but we also have a blast. We've had great feedback on there. So yeah, the Atheist Roundtable, come holler.
Okay, very good. Neil, what do you have coming up on your channel, or is there anyone else that you want to show for?
Well, I do have, like I said earlier on, I have Godless Sewing coming on to share his deconversion story on the 16th of March, which is this coming Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Then I have Sinister Porpoise at 5 p.m. on the Thursday. Then Saturday, Danish Debater will be joining me. And I've got a couple of gaps there. And of course, I'll be picking up again on the Saturday with one Texas gal who is actually still in the process of deconverting. So this one should be kind of interesting.
Wait a minute. You said Will Godless Sewing is going to be on your show this Tuesday?
This Tuesday, March 16th, 5 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. The only reason I'm confused is because he's also said that he's going to be on my show at the same time.
Whoa.
So we will
He's omnipresent.
We'll let him do yours, and I'll either change the time on mine or whatever. What I'm doing on Tuesday is a fundraiser for Jen.
Mhm.
Jen's little corner, she is in the process of moving and she's got a fundraiser going. And so I was going to do a fundraiser show for her. And she invited Will, and Will said he was coming. But it's at the
Oh,
same time as your show. So we will need to fix that.
well, that may have been my fault because I had to switch because of my mom.
Ah, okay.
So he agreed to do the 16th, but he may have forgotten about.
Okay.
Yeah. And Maverick, if you're wondering why I said special pleading, because you're talking about a prime mover that doesn't apparently need a cause, but everything else in the universe needs a cause. Fuck you. That's special pleading.
Hmm.
I'm a
It's a
chemist as
good
well,
thing.
and I've never seen the fingerprints of any deities in anything that I've done.
Well,
So,
there.
That's
anywho,
what- yeah,
but
that's the way I get a lot of Christians to disappear on Twitter is when they say they know that their God is real. I ask them, tell me one
knowledge is
time.
demonstrable.
Yeah. I ask them, tell me one thing that you've seen in answer to prayer. I usually say this when they've been talking about prayer and how wonderful prayer is. Tell me one thing that you have seen in answer to prayer that could not have happened but for a God.
Mhm.
Now he's like, existence of energy doesn't need it. That's right, because like you said, the first law of thermodynamics, energy is neither created nor destroyed, which is right for the most part, but everything comes from somewhere. So before there was any energy, which is, pre-Big Bang, we don't know what happened before that. And we're not going to pretend to know what happened until we have evidence that could lead us to a conclusion. And we don't go, oh, well, that's a God. Well, no, it's fucking not. You have to demonstrate that that's the case. So there you go. Do you know any of the other laws of thermodynamics, Maverick? What's the fourth law?
Everybody get your pens and paper.
I have no idea.
Everyone's really familiar with the first and second, but and they bring them up all the time. It's like, well, do you know the rest of them? Go look it up. You know all four. Okay, good for you.
And I'll just say about the people that come in the chat trying to preach or debate. It was Seth Andrews came on to our show, and we had one particular theist that was in there antagonizing, and he called him out. He was like, "Is that what God sent you to do? Was to just go into the atheist chat rooms and preach the gospel? Why can't he show up? Why did he send you?" It was awesome.
Okay, Ethan, what do you have coming up? I know you've mentioned a number of things, but you can give it one last what's the
Sure.
word I'm looking for? Boost.
My schedule, which I should have had, but basically, okay. So if you want a break from regular atheist content, and you like talking about dating, sex, and relationships, Hannah Vaughn and I do that every Thursday at 9 p.m. It's a call-in show where each week we talk about a different topic. This past Thursday, we did relationships and consent. A few weeks before that, we did relationships and ADHD, because believe it or not, ADHD impacts you every day. It even impacts your sex life. I'm not joking. We did a video on that. Every Tuesday, there's another video I would recommend. If you have time, look at the debilitating side of ADHD on my channel. I think it's one of the ones I did by myself, and I kind of like it. But every Tuesday is the perspective. It's that call-in show with supernatural claims, paranormal, belief in aliens. Just a couple weeks ago, we had someone call in who believed that being white will soon be criminalized because being a white male is the hardest and most oppressed group in this country. Not joking.
What?
He called in when Katie Montgomery was my co-host.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So it was somewhat a productive conversation. It went on for quite a great deal of time. And but it was, we get a lot of interesting.
Hold on. They said what?
Being white will soon be criminalized because white males are the most oppressed group in America. Quoting him, I'm not saying that.
Wow.
And that they can't say anything anymore and that they'll be going to jail soon just for speaking.
Somebody likes being a victim.
Yeah. So yeah, we get a lot of interesting calls, but every Tuesday we have different co-hosts. Brainbug is one of the regulars, along with Kenneth Leonard, Jenna Belk, IQ's hosted before, Puck, Martin Robert. We got a lot of great people. And then Sundays we've got that mental health show. And then, as I said earlier, I've got that. I forgot about this. Sunday, the 21st at 7 p.m., Mandisa Thomas will be hosting Black Non-Believers Roundtable on my channel. It's going to be awesome. I am also, I'm doing so many things. It's kind of ridiculous. I am testing a new call-in show a month from now. It's going to be myself and a Christian, and we're going to be taking calls, so you'll get the atheist or Christian perspective. But then the one I'm most excited about is the show with Vila Bianca. It's called The Hot Seat. Shannon Q and Kenneth Leonard will be our first two contestants. They will be eating progressively hotter wings while debating different topics. And first person to give up loses.
Why'd you say that? You said the show you're doing with me was your favorite.
I never said that.
I'm kidding.
You've been dumped, Oz. You've been
One of
dumped.
the reasons I always keep coming back to you, man, is because I love working with you. And, I'm going to give Oz a little bit of props here. For those that don't know, man, this guy is a friggin' workhorse. And he's not many, a lot of people talk about being a humanist and helping other people. That man puts in the work and does anything he can to build up the community behind the scenes, things you're not even aware of. So if you ever want to meet a real humanist, Oz really is one. He doesn't like props, but the dude's a good dude, and he does everything he can to help other members in the community.
Thank you.
And what I have coming up on Tuesday, as I mentioned, I am doing a fundraiser for Jen, Aunt Jen's little corner. She's getting ready to move, needs a little bit of help. And so to help promote her GoFundMe, I'm doing a stream just to promote her and her GoFundMe. And Junk Shop Library will be on that, and I will have a special unveiling during that stream. And B of the family will be there, and I believe Will Godless Sewing will be there, but possibly not. We'll see. And then on the 23rd, I'm going to be hosting the Dry Apologist, and I'm going to have another. This won't be a debate; it'll be a theist versus atheist discussion. Similar to the one that I had with SJ the week earlier. Oh, yeah, a week earlier. And as far as what I'm doing for a produced video this week, I don't even know yet. I haven't decided on a topic yet this week. I've got about 12 more hours to figure that out. So I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone for the super chats and for the stickers. Everyone stay safe. Thank you so much to Oz, to Ethan, and to Neil for coming to join me. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'm sorry, what?
I said my pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you, Alice, for hosting us.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. And everyone stay safe and live your life. Bye.